Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Alan Shearer now thinks Arsenal have made an absolute bargain buy. Alan Shearer has been raving about Arsenal midfielder Declan Rice on the Rest is Football podcast. The Newcastle United legend and BBC Sport pundit believes that Rice has been a bargain signing for Arsenal. The Gunners paid London and the Premier League rivals West Ham United an initial transfer fee of £100 million for the 24-year-old. Shearer said about Rice on the Rest is Football podcast the following. Declan Rice, what a signing, £100 million. People were discussing the fee. I think it has proven to be a bargain. He is just a brilliant player, and for him to pop up and get the goal, it just makes such a difference, particularly with Man City being beaten and then getting the 3 points. This week has been huge for Arsenal and for Liverpool. In my view, Declan Rice is one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League and has the potential to become world class. I believe that the England international could help Arsenal win the Premier League title this season, as well as make a huge impact in the UEFA Champions League and maybe win it. And let us not forget that Rice is only 24. He is not going to hit his peak for another 3 or 4 years. He is a leader. Just imagine how good Rice will become when he is 27 or 28. It's scary. Yes, £100 million is a lot of money, but I believe that Arsenal have signed a real gem in Rice. The midfielder has scored 3 goals and given 1 assist in 15 Premier League matches for Arsenal this season. Rice has also given 1 goal in 5 UEFA Champions League games for Mikel Arteta's side this campaign. Ornstein shares what he's heard about how Aaron Ramsdale has been in Arsenal training. David Ornstein has shared what he has heard about how Aaron Ramsdale has been in training in recent times amid doubts over his future at Arsenal. Ornstein was responding in a Q&A with The Athletic as he suggested that he is expecting Arsenal to have a quiet window in January following their move to sign David Raya on loan in the summer. Of course, one way the Gunners can bolster their transfer kitty is to sell players on in the winter, and one of the players who is attracting attention is Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale lost his place to Raya earlier this season, and that decision has prompted a lot of debate, particularly with Raya hardly impressing for Arsenal so far. Newcastle are admirers of Ramsdale, but are unlikely to be willing to pay £50 million for him, and Ornstein has suggested that Arsenal are not interested in loaning the 25-year-old, so it could be another frustrating few months for the goalkeeper over the second half of the season. However, it does not appear that he is letting his struggles for minute affect his work at London Conley, with the journalist noting that Ramsdale is impressing on the training ground. He said, "Obviously there is the Ramsdale situation. I don't think Arsenal would allow a loan, only a permanent one, and that would need to be at a level of fee that gives the proper finances to play with, and I'm not aware of any movement on that front yet. Of course, Ramsdale wants and needs to be playing, but I hear, unsurprisingly, that he has been training well and a model pro. Ideally for Arsenal, this would be addressed in the summer." Ramsdale will be aware that throwing his toys out of the pram will do him no favors. Ultimately, you would imagine that his goal will be to regain that number one spot at Arsenal and then move if that becomes impossible. So being a good teammate and a positive figure within the squad is only going to boost his chances of coming back into the side. Martin Keown makes prediction about David Raya after his mistakes for Arsenal on Tuesday. Martin Keown has made a prediction about David Raya following his mistake for Arsenal on Tuesday night. Speaking on Match of the Day, Keown stated that he believes the goalkeeping situation at Arsenal will sort itself out soon. David Raya had a night to forget at Kenilworth Road last time out, as he was at fault for 2 of Luton's goals. The Spaniard failed to deal with a corner and was beaten in the air by Adebayo. He then failed to stop Ross Barkley's effort just minutes later after the shot looked as if it should have been dealt with fairly comfortably for a goalkeeper of his caliber. It led to sections of the Arsenal fan base calling for Aaron Ramsdale to get another run in the side. The Englishman has started just one Premier League since losing his place in the side to Raya back in early September, and Martin Keown believes Ramsdale will come back into the side if Raya continues to make basic mistakes. Keon feels Raya will have to up his game over the coming weeks to avoid being dropped by Arteta. He said, "If this is a problem and Arsenal are 2 points clear at the top of the table, then we will take this all day long. I'm pretty certain sooner or later this will sort itself out." Raya has got the nod, but he has to play well. If he makes those basic mistakes, then the keeper gets changed. It's fair to say that Raya has been far from convincing since taking over from Ramsdale as Arsenal's number one. He's been at fault for a few of goals now, and Ramsdale will be itching to get another opportunity. Indeed, Jamie O'Hara has even claimed that Raya could end up costing Arsenal the Premier League title. With that being said, it seems evident that Raya is Arteta's preferred choice at this stage, and it would be a surprise to see a change between the sticks anytime soon. Paul Merson thinks 24-year-old Arsenal player could be dropped versus Aston Villa. Paul Merson has given his verdict on whether or not Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta will start Kai Havertz against Unai Emery's Aston Villa. The former Arsenal star and Sky Sports pundit has also noted what he really thinks about Havertz, who can operate as a midfielder or as a forward. Arsenal will take on Aston Villa away from home at Villa Park in the Premier League on Saturday. I believe that it's going to be a fascinating match. Arsenal are at the top of the Premier League table with 36 points from 15 matches, 2 points clear of Liverpool in second. Villa are third. Unai Emery's side are only 4 points behind Arsenal. I suspect that the Spaniard would love to win against his former club at Villa Park. Arsenal will head into the match against Villa on the back of a 4-3 victory over Luton Town away from home in the Premier League. Kai Havertz started the match for the Gunners. The 24-year-old was deployed on the left of a midfield three in a 4-3-3 formation. Havertz played well and scored in the 60th minute, but Sky Sports pundit Paul Merson believes that Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta could still drop him. Marron told Sportskida the following: "As for Kai Havertz, I said so many times that he is a top player and would be a good signing for Arsenal. I'm not sure if he will start against Villa, but I think they could use a player like him, as he'd play a key role in beating their press." In my view, Kai Havertz is starting to do well for Arsenal. I do not think that the former Chelsea player is at his best yet, but he is getting there. Havertz is scoring important goals now and seems to have the faith of Arteta. The 24-year-old has scored 3 goals and given 1 assist in 9 starts and 6 substitute appearances in the Premier League for Arsenal this season. The German international has scored 1 goal in 5 UEFA Champions League matches for the Gunners. Kevin Campbell says £45 million Arsenal player really makes things tick. Arsenal legend Kevin Campbell has described Gabriel Jesus as the glue of the Gunners team. The Highbury icon was speaking about the Arsenal striker on talkSPORT following their midweek Premier League win. Arsenal triumphed in a 7-goal thriller away at Luton on a Tuesday night. Mikel Arteta's charges running out 4-3 winners. Jesus played a key role in the match. The 26-year-old scored the Gunners' second and also played a part in Gabriel Martinelli's opener and Kai Havertz's goal. Jesus registered some impressive stats overall. As per WhoScored.com, he had 3 shots on target, made 5 key passes, boasted a pass accuracy rate of over 90%, and completed 2 dribbles. Campbell, speaking with Alan Brazil on talkSPORT, sung the Brazilian praises, saying he truly makes things tick for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. Brazil began. By the way, Kev, being an ex-center forward, you know where I'm coming from here. How good was it Jesus for the equalizer? Using his body strength and then keeping composed to stick it in for Havertz, that was great for me. Campbell replied, yeah, that was exceptional. Listen, there are many Arsenal fans that have talked about the new strikers, but I think this team with Jesus in it, Jesus is the glue. He makes things tick up there. And you know what? He is not the biggest, but he is strong and he is smart and he scored assisted for Kai Havertz. Jesus is a world-class player and he continues to thrive for Arsenal. The Gunners will hope to have the £45 million man fit available and raring to go all season as he is such a difference maker. The good thing about Arsenal now is that there are many players who can all be said to be the glue of the team. Basically, there are loads of superb players who also play very well together. Emery handed boost as he looks to rate former club for 23-year-old ace. Unai Emery's Aston Villa are keen on having Emile Smith-Rowe in their ranks and have been monitoring him for a while now. They have received a major boost in their pursuit of the 23-year-old as Arsenal are ready to sell their academy graduate, according to a report by Football Transfers. Smith Rowe has been at Arsenal since his childhood days. He came up the ranks at some pace and made it to their first team in the summer of 2020. He had an exceptional start to his first team career and became a fan favorite. But over the years, he has fallen down the pecking order and injuries have hampered his progress. He is no longer a preferred choice and has only managed 231 minutes of footballing action this season. Mikel Arteta has already held talks with the player over his role at the club and the fact that he is no longer the preferred choice. Meanwhile, the Gunners would have applauded him in the summer had they managed to sign Ilkay Gundogan. While they had to keep him at the club to ensure they have enough depth, the North London club are now ready to let him leave in the winter if an ideal offer arrives. It's a huge boost for Villa as they have been following the 23-year-old for a while now. Unai Emery is a big admirer of the England youth international and feels he could be an ideal signing for his team. He has watched him up close during his managerial stint at Arsenal and is keen on having him at Villa. David Ornstein claims Arsenal eyeing £77 million star, who is one of the top three midfielders in Europe. Arsenal have reportedly rekindled their interest in Nicolo Barella ahead of the January transfer window. David Ornstein, writing on The Athletic, claims the Gunners still like the Inter Milan ace alongside other high-caliber midfielders. However, Ornstein suggested that while Arsenal are keen on bringing a new midfielder in at some point, nothing is concrete just yet on that front. He said, I think Arsenal would like to add a midfielder at some point, but there would need to be a departure, and right now it doesn't seem anything is developing on the likes of Jorginho, Partey or Smith Rowe. We know they like Zubimendi, Barella, Neto and others, but again, I don't know if any movement of that. Neves is staying in Saudi. I can't see Villa letting Luis go, and to my knowledge, Arsenal were not seriously looking at either for this window anyway. Arsenal could certainly do with bolstering their midfield ranks next year. Thomas Partey's injury issues are seeing him on the sidelines a lot, while the jury remains out on Fabio Vieira. Barella has been linked with the Gunners as well as other top Premier League teams in the past, and as one of the best midfielders in the game, that's not surprising. This season, the 26-year-old made 19 appearances for Inter, helping them to the top of the Serie A table and into the last 16 of the Champions League. Barella has got better and better with time, and he'd no doubt be an outstanding asset for an Arsenal team that already has the incredible Declan Rice in midfield. However, it's extremely unlikely that Inter would sell one of their main assets mid-season during a title-challenging campaign. This could be more of a summer thing. Arsenal won't start with 47 Premier League appearances in January to aid their title push. Arsenal are looking to bolster their midfield in the upcoming winter transfer window. They are looking to acquire the services of Fulham's Joao Palinha, according to a report by the Mirror. The Gunners might be sitting at the top of the Premier League, but Mikel Arteta still feels the need to reinforce his midfield. Palinha has extensive experience with 47 appearances in the Premier League, and he could make an immediate impact. Signing a new midfielder is now a priority for the Spanish manager heading into the winter window. While quite a few names have been linked with the Gunners, Palinha could be the preferred choice for the North London club given his recent form. The 28-year-old defensive midfielder was close to parting ways with the Cottagers in the summer. The club have reached an agreement with Bayern München over a transfer worth £55 million, but the deal collapsed as Fulham couldn't sign a replacement in time. The German giants remain interested in the Portuguese international, but they will now have to battle it out with Arsenal for his signatures. While the Gunners have identified the 28-year-old as a top target for the Mirror, they might not have enough funds to execute such a transfer, having already spent millions in the summer, and this is where they could look to raise funds by selling Thomas Partey. The 30-year-old has struggled with injury lately, and Arteta could look to move him on in order to get his hands on Palinha, whose arrival will bolster his squad and help Arsenal in their pursuit of the Premier League title. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.